can change the world. Travel with me, artist John DYER. Be inspired. Learn about plants, animals and people. Connect to tribal culture. Create, paint, exhibit, connect. Hello, I'm artist John DYER and thank you for taking part in our last chance to paint Spirit of the Rainforest project. Now, we've got to a stage by doing all of the work together where you are just about ready to do your final piece of artwork, and there are a few things that you might like to know and a few decisions that you might like to take when you embark on that. I want it to be your absolute best piece of work you've ever done. I mean, this is something that's really important. You're making such a big connection to the world, and we can put it online alongside my work and alongside thousands of other pieces of work from children from around the world. So I want it to be something that you are completely proud of, and something in 10 years time or 20 years time you look back and go, I really worked hard at that, I really did it well, and I'm really proud that my piece of work still represents the subject. So how do we go about that? Well, I paint, so I use a lot of paint in my work, and I would love you to paint. But there's mixed media, there are pastels, there are chalks, there's digital media that you can use, there's watercolours, there's pen and ink, there's charcoals, there's all sorts of things. You might want to use collage. I'm happy for you to use the medium that suits you, it's really important. But I'm going to give you a top 10 sort of list of things you might like to think about. Connect to your subject. That is the most important thing. If you don't feel a connection to your subject, or if you don't enjoy your subject, you don't love your subject, why would you want to paint or draw it? If you love it, you can paint and draw it. Imagine your final piece. You've got to be able to roughly see in your mind in full colour and in some sort of detail the composition and what it is you want to achieve. Do a sketch. That's really important. It can be a sketch in your mind that nobody else can see, or it can be a sketch on a scrap piece of paper. Don't plan everything. If you plan everything, then there's no way for your painting or your drawing to have a conversation with you. It will be stuck, it will be rigid. So allow your painting to have a conversation too. Choose your art materials. If you're not naturally a painter, or if you're not great at drawing, or if you're really useless at using charcoals or pastels, well, don't use them. Find a medium that works with you. Brushes. If you are going to paint, and I hope lots of you will because it's so super fun, don't just use a gluey brush, use nice brushes and use a nice wide one for the background and use a finer one for detail. Wet and dry. When you're painting, you'll find the paint is wet, obviously, and as you paint more on top of it, as long as you have got confidence, you can do wet on wet, but you will need to let it dry and then put detail on top. Time. There's no hurry. Sometimes I do a painting in a morning, sometimes a day, sometimes a week, and I know one artist that's been doing the same piece for over 50 years. He takes it out of the drawer each day, makes a little mark, puts it back again. Colours and light are essential to any piece of work, whether it's pastels or whether it's painting. Imagine mixing up some lemon yellow and letting it catch all the leaves and the images. That's like light. You, the subject and the picture, that is a big conversation. You want to achieve something, the subject wants to say something, and the picture is going to dictate to you too. It's a three-way conversation. Let it be a three-way conversation. theworldgallery.online. This is where you can put your amazing art for the whole world to see and exhibit your work with your contemporaries from all over the world. So make this great. And lastchancetopaint.com, our big project you've been involved with, that is where the World Gallery lives, and this is what you are doing your art for, to connect to our beautiful planet Earth.